I know we had a big-time prospect who visited over the weekend, and he's the number one recruit in the entire country. Jackson Cantwell went ahead and visited, and he seemed to like his visit. However, it doesn't seem like Ohio State is high on his list from what I've heard. And from what I've been told, Columbus might be too big of a city for him. This is a guy who's from Nixa, Missouri. But you're also looking at some of the other places who want him. Like, also, regardless of college, like, what happens, like, if you're the number one recruit in the country right now, that means you are projected to be a top 5, top 10 pick. You're going to get drafted by some pretty good teams who, well, not some pretty bad teams who are playing in some pretty big cities. Like, what happens if you get drafted by New York or, either New York team or either Los Angeles team? Those are some pretty damn big cities, or Chicago. I think it would be better for you if you went ahead and got adjusted to a little bit. And Columbus isn't nearly as big a city as any of those cities I just mentioned. So I feel like it would be smarter for him to go ahead and get used to that in college as opposed to having a big culture shock when he gets to the NFL. But maybe there's some other things going on that may not there may be some other reasons as to why maybe Ohio State won't be where he ends up. What are your thoughts on the Cantwell visit?
It's not one of the more confident prospects I think Ohio State should have. I do believe there's a chance that he could go to Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't think they're completely out of the woods. I don't think they're completely knocked off the list yet.
No, it's not there, but it's one of my favorite expressions, Ryan, is seeing the forest from the trees. I think this is one of those situations where I can see the forest from the trees, and I can understand he's probably not going to Ohio State. And it sucks because I think, again, he's someone that can start day one. When describing him, I say his eyes don't lie. He has very good feet. He's very athletic. We know his parents are. Dad's a silver medalist in dropping him. it's. But I wonder again. We bring up the Ohio State's a very big city, which it is. If you compare,
Columbus is like it's a mid-sized city compared to some of these NFL.
If you compare it to Ann Arbor, it's a big city.
Sure. And compared to Nixa, it's massive.
Yeah. From there he said about his relationship with Coach Tyler Bowen. It's good and getting better. The message he has given me is the staff. They have a winning mentality at Ohio State, and it's perfect for someone like me. So again, that's good to hear. It shows that. I'll put it this way. Yes, I understand that if there's a reason why we're going to get him, I'm going to completely put on Tyler Bowen. As in, I'm not going to blame him if we don't get him, but if we do get him, I'm giving him the 100% credit.
Yeah,
for that absolutely. I'm going to have to assume that Coach Day has been part of the process for a guy like him. For a player like him, you have to be.
As a head coach, you got to get in process for the number one overall recruit.
But and then I'm also guess Brian Hartline's got to be part of this process. It's an all hands on process, as I'm sure it is for everyone else. And what you have to do is show, as I would say, especially this season, you have to show and prove that you are developing. That as a Tyler Bowen, you can develop the really young offensive line unit that we have and bring it together. I think that's what you have to do coming off of last year's season, where I believe Ohio State was very impressive on what they did with their old line and how they were able to maneuver around injuries and shift it around. So,
yeah, agreed. 14th largest city in the U.S. That's by metro population. We've talked about this before. By just actual city population, it's not quite that large. But it's still, like I said, almost every other NFL city. There's a lot of NFL cities that are going to be bigger. Besides like Jacksonville, that are going to be, more of an adjustment for them. But, we'll see if Bowen can pull off a miracle and bring them in. Obviously, that would be great. But we'll see. We'll see. Also saw this. I don't think we need a brace for Chris Henry.
Yeah,
That's what I'm not worried about.
So Richie, I'll put this simply for you. If you're Chris Henry Jr. and the best wide receiver coach in college football will be your offensive coordinator with a head coach who who unapologetically loves to throw the ball. There ain't much you got to worry about. I think Chris Henry's a Buckeye, and and let's be honest here, man. I think Chris Henry. And I don't know the kid. I'm not in his head. I don't know. He's never said this. It's just speculation. I think Chris Henry wants to see what it'll be like his freshman year with him and Jeremiah and guys like Mylan Graham on the same field.
Yeah.
I think he wants to see that, and chances are the quarterback is either going to be Julian Sand as a senior, or it's going to be Tavien St. Clair.
Yeah, I am not worried about I'm not worried about Henry flipping at all. He's talked about how other programs have tried to come in and flip him and woo him with a bunch of NIL money, and he has actually just go away. I'm not listening. I'm locked into Ohio State. So I would be actually shocked if he went ahead and flipped. Because like you mentioned, he's going to get NIL money anyway. Brian Hartline's the best wide receiver coach in the country, and now he's going to be running the offense. So it's going to be more pass-centric, we think. And he's going to have a very talented quarterback thrown to him, whether it's Julian Sand, which I would assume it'd be Julian Sand again next year, or Tavien St. Clair, whoever. No, it's going to be a 5-star quarterback throwing him the football. So I don't see any reason why he would flip at this point. So that would shock me.
Oh man, let's get to a few comments and then we'll get to our ad here. There was one I saw. I don't think Miami's getting him, Juju. I don't.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say it's going to be either you guys up north.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I don't think Miami is.
Yeah. I could see Oregon.
Or it's more likely. I think it's going to be more than likely Oregon. I think.
Yeah. Although, I mean, do they have endless NIL money? I understand Full Night's like rich, but I mean, they're dropping all kinds of money on everybody.
Hey, man, as long as those sweatshops are working, he's got money.
Yeah.
Day one, what's going on, man? Nice to see you in here. Oh, let's see. I want us to get some surprise flips in our favor. Fuck it. Let's go for a double champ. Man, listen. I would you count Julian Sand as a flip?
No, because he was enrolled somewhere else.
For like a hot coffee and a donut hole.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but if Nick Saban were to stay there, like he was going to be there.
Yeah,
like he committed to Saban, so I wouldn't consider that a flip.
See this right here, Juice. St. Clair versus Underwood will be set up for the rivalry. Oh yeah. Oh, in a couple years here, man. I think we're gonna it'll be like a memorable. I think it'll be like a memorable thing for the rivalry when we talk about 20, 30 years from now about Michigan having their hometown, like their home state kid, in Ohio State having theirs, and going back and forth and seeing how that rolls out. Yeah, that's gonna be something to watch too. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Underwood's got a better chance of playing early than St. Clair does, just because of the fact that saying, he's probably going to win the job this year. And we've talked about how it's, really, really tough for a true freshman at Ohio State to come in and win the job. Now, it's probably not going to be that hard for a true freshman to go in Michigan and win the job. But that tells you more about the state of Michigan's quarterback room. Exactly. So Ohio State is, I wouldn't be shocked if St. Clair is one of those guys that ends up playing just in his junior and senior year, or just 1 year, and then he's gone because he, plays so well. But at the very least, I think we'll get 1 year where they're both on the field together.
Like I said, man, Ohio State, man. 2019 was different. But I mean, right now, I'm not worried about Ohio State having shit in their quarterback room. You know, we don't have Davis Warrens, we don't have Alex Orgies, so you know, that's the good thing.